and quite disturbing to what this bill aims to accomplish. Criticizing the GSG's past actions is also completely irrelevant to this bill, and whether or not graduate workers deserve collective bargaining rights. Details of a contract would be hashed out and considered when collective bargaining starts. This bill would support graduate workers' right to unionize, not require UMD to accept all of GLU's demands. Calling GLU's demands too expensive implies that this university is to function. It can only do so on the backs of the graduate workers. Shying away from taking a strong stance on issues that powerful institutions disagree with us makes us look weak and complacent. We must override this veto against the GLU bill. The legislature should make a strong statement alongside our graduate workers and tell UMD's administration that their inaction is acceptable. After all, their working conditions are our learning conditions. I yield my time back to the chair.
Again, just point of parliamentary procedure / personal privilege. Your initial statement, Sid, wasn't actually debate, it was yielding the floor to Anand. So I'm just gonna hold, I'm gonna give you guys back 10 seconds, is what I'm saying. Okay. So the next time someone speaks, I'm not gonna start the timer for 10 seconds. Just a note to everyone else here.
Cool. Appreciate it.
What would you like to do with your time off campus commuter?
What else am I gonna do? I'm gonna use it. I seek to yield as much time as I may consume. So to sum up and synthesize and just punch home some of these arguments, the only way we get to have any of these conversations regarding the GLU's demands at all and what they mean for the undergraduate populations in any equitable and fairly represented manner is if we recognize the GLU and their bargaining potential, if we endorse their power and as a collective bargaining organization. Additionally, vetoing the endorsement of their right to collectively bargain is an implicit endorsement of their current bargaining conditions and, by their admission, our learning conditions. As students, we depend on them, they depend on the university and us. And the university, as should have been said, can't fairly build its educational infrastructure that we use day to day on the backs of graduate labor without fairly compensating them, by taking their input into consideration. If we reject their right to unionize, we refuse to acknowledge the injustices that are being done with regards to their working conditions, their pay, their hours, and additionally, rejecting the right to unionize based on the potential consequences of the allocation of this burden is to weigh graduate assistants' labor rights against our fees as students, and that rational calculus just doesn't fly with me, at least from a personal standpoint. Their right to unionize and their ability to collectively bargain, that is something that is immutable and that should be immutable and that will be immutable should the MGA proceed as expected. Now, whether we want to stand in front of them and try and stop them, or whether we want to endorse them and work with them and collaborate, that is on us as a student body, that is on us as the SGA legislature, and I urge us to overturn this veto. I yield my time over to the other OCC rep.
Thank you. The right to organize is a right, and it's not a privilege. Imagine if somebody told you that we can't afford to give you your rights. You want to have the right to attend the same schools as a person who is white? No, I'm sorry. We can't afford that. Imagine if somebody said that to you. The right to organize is a right and not a privilege. It is a right because workers, those who are employed, are in a power dynamic where their employer is more powerful than them. So we organize as a union so that we could match their level. And what we're doing is denying, what the university is doing is denying them the opportunity to negotiate on a level playing field. And that is not something we can sacrifice just because we can't afford it.
Yeah. We seek to reserve our time.
Alrighty, moving on to the negative floor. Sakim's comments whenever you're ready.
I seek to yield as much time as I may consume.
Wait, Mike?
Oh shit. Oh. CTL as much time as I may consume. This is not meant to be an ideological